You're listening to The Seed, brought to you by Staley Credit Union and the Brecknitz Group of Raymond James. Welcome to The Seed. I'm Julie Staley. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm over here at Spencer Films, and we're bringing you our holiday special. We're hoping to talk more about the history at the Staley Company, of the holiday traditions that were there, and maybe you know someone who worked there, or you yourself worked there, and you can remember some of these traditions. We'll also be talking with some of our current staff at the Staley Museum and Spencer Films about some of their holiday traditions and things that they enjoy at this time of the year. First of all, we want to give you an update on our film that we're working on, the documentary Fields of Gold, about the life of A.E. Staley. We are kind of completing the editing process and working on distribution. That's been going on for a little while, but we're making a lot of great progress and hoping to have something to announce very, very soon. We're going to be taking a winter break on the podcast, so we'll be back with probably some definite news when you can see the film when we come back from our break. So we're very excited that we're going to be able to bring that to you very, very soon. But the holidays go by so quickly, and we wanted to make sure to take a few moments to celebrate some of the holiday history, the Christmas history that was at the Staley Company. There were, many holidays they celebrated, and Christmas was a very big tradition there. It was a very memorable time of year for the family and for those employees who remember being there at the company. So we definitely want to focus on some of those Christmas traditions. One of the things that some people may remember or have heard stories about is the Staley Fellowship Club party for children. Now, this would take place at an area school, I believe, and they would have up to 2,000 children there. So these would be children of employees at the Staley Company. They would all get tickets that would be distributed through, I believe, the department heads at the company, and they would give them to each employee for their household, however many they needed for children. And even if they had a younger child, the older sibling could go with them to accompany them there. They would have a magic show. They would have treats for the children. So you can imagine 2,000 children, up to 2,000 children at a holiday party. That's a lot of dedication to do that every year. And obviously it was a very, very beloved event that took place, a real tradition that the whole family really appreciated. There was another tradition that the Fellowship Club had where they distributed food baskets for the Staley families, for employees. They had about 2.5 tons of food that would go into these baskets that they would give out to the Staley Fellowship Club families. So I'm sure that receiving those and seeing all the goodies that were in those baskets was something that everyone looked forward to every year. And then for the Staley Fellowship Club members, they would get fruit boxes delivered on Christmas Day. So that was one of the many benefits of being a member at the Staley in the Staley Fellowship Club. So again, something really to look forward to on Christmas Day, a holiday tradition that you would have every year. Then one of the really big, like literally big traditions that they had was the Christmas tree. And of course, before the administration building that was built in 1930, they had a large Christmas tree that would be put out there was a center court, a fountain area, kind of a centerpiece of the plant, and they would have a tree put out there so everyone would see it as they were walking through the plant on their way to their work. And it was a tradition that went on for years and years and years. And of course, then that became the tree that went into the lobby of the administration building, which again was built in 1930. And that tree was, well, the lobby was, 2 stories high. So the tree would fill the entire height of the lobby practically. It was a large tree. Actually, I don't even know how they got it in the front doors, because they're single doors. I'm not sure if there's one that's a double door and there's a revolving door there. So I'll have to investigate that on how they got those trees through the doors. They probably really bound the tree up quite a bit to get it in one of those doors. But they really spent a lot of time decorating the tree and celebrating and having events, and again, this tradition that was really important at the Staley Company for all year round, but especially at the holidays, during the holidays and at Christmas time. The Foreman's Club would also have a wreath laying ceremony around Christmas time, and they would go to the mausoleum and lay a wreath where A.E. Staley was buried. A.E. Staley died on December 26th, 1940. So Christmas was a time that was very important to him. It was very important to the family, a very, very special time. And it was the time that he chose to say goodbye. So this makes it just a very memorable time for the family and for those who worked with the company or had family members working at the company, to have these traditions and these memories and these events taking place around the holiday time. A company that we have in town that shares a lot of our history is the Staley Credit Union. And they ask, what if you owned your own bank? Well, when you're a credit union member, profits come back to you, not the investors. And how does that happen? Well, if you think lower interest rates on loans, higher dividends on savings, financial education, and unmatched member service, you can become a member today with these by visiting staleycu.com. And this institution is not federally insured by Member Choice. It is proudly insured by American Share Insurance. And that credit union was in the administration building right there in the lobby. So I'm sure they saw a lot of wonderful Christmas trees coming in and out of there through the years. So that is a great tradition that they have shared with the company. Another company in Decatur that also shares a great tradition in town is the Brecknitz Group of Raymond James. There you'll find a team of professionals with more than 250 years of combined experience, offering steadfast guidance for families and individuals, businesses, and institutional investors. And their powerhouse of experience is supported by the award-winning resources of Raymond James. And this is one of the largest independent financial service firms in the country. So for more information on them, you can visit thebrecknitzgroup.com. That's the T-H-E, Brecknitz is B-R-E-C-H-N-I-T-Z group.com. The Brecknitz Group of Raymond James is a financial future backed by strength and stability. And again, we are so, I say this every podcast, we just really are so grateful for the traditions that many businesses and organizations have in Decatur and in the area. Those they have shaped the community. They shape the culture of the community. And we at the Staley Museum and at Spencer Films are very grateful for all of the businesses that continue these traditions. I also want to recognize our partners that we have had along this way. The Herald and Review has been a partner with us on the documentary, and we want to wish them happy holidays. Also, First Mid Insurance Group, they have been partnering with us along the way as well. And McGuire, Uhas, Huffman, and Buckley CPA firm. They've also been another partner for us. So thank you to our partners and to our sponsors, and for all of the traditions that you keep going in Decatur and the surrounding area for everyone. So we asked our current Staley family of staff what their traditions are. And we are so fortunate to have such a dedicated and experienced staff. So many people working at the Staley Museum, working here at Spencer Films. And we wanted to just kind of hear a fun side, what their traditions are, what their holiday traditions are, and how they like to spend it, and what they think of during the holidays. So we hope you enjoy a few moments with each of them.
Hello, I'm Laura Yar, and I'm the director of the Staley Museum. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about myself and wish you all a Merry Christmas. Um, I am a graduate of the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana many, many years ago. And for about 30 years, I lived in Madrid, Spain, raising a family. And about 13 years ago, I came back to my hometown, Decatur, Illinois, and was gifted with this amazing opportunity to work in local history, um, initially at the Mueller Museum and now full-time at the Staley Museum. This, I love Christmas, and Christmas, I have been blessed to have a multitude of wonderful Christmas memories. Most of them are wrapped up around the raising of my children and memories of my children. But I am very happy to be here today talking to you and telling you about uh, myself and my favorite aspects of Christmas. One of the things that I love about working at the Staley Museum is the storytelling. I love to tell a good story, and that really serves me well when it comes to finding the stories that we want to tell at the museum and when visitors come. My favorite, absolute favorite thing about working at the museum is when people come in and I start telling my stories, and there's an aha moment in their eyes when they start connecting the dots about things they know about Decatur or Decatur local history, and how the Staley company or family interacted with our community and made some really great things happen.
Happy holidays. I am Laura Richter, the production manager for Spencer Films, and also the producer for this podcast, The Seed. I have been working in the local film community for probably the past 12 to 15 years, an occupation that I truly love. Prior to that, I worked the convention circuit, moderated a number of celebrity panels, worked hospitality, and worked with a lot of major actors. And also my background's in association management. I truly enjoy working for Spencer Films and Julie Staley. I have learned so much about film through this position. I have met the most amazing people. I have had the opportunity to travel to different states. I've been able to work on new projects that I hadn't worked on before. One of my very favorite things is the awesome people that I've met. And also, I had the opportunity to film a short movie out in Los Angeles, actually in Hollywood. And never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I would be doing that, especially at this point in my life. So I feel very blessed. I am actually a Springfield native. I was born and raised in Springfield. I did move away. I lived in Colorado, Avon, Colorado, for a few years, and I lived in St. Louis, where my son Jordan was born. He is 25 years old. I also have two cats that I love very much, and between my son and my cats, I'm kept very entertained.
Hello, I'm Erin. I am the assistant director at the Staley Museum. I graduated from Millikan and I've been with the Staley Museum for 7 years now. I primarily focus on graphic design, working on the exhibits, giving tours, and meeting with visitors. And I love working at the Staley Museum because I'm from the area. I live in Mount Zion with my husband, Nick, and our two greyhounds. And I love to see people recognize their local history and see the importance of it in their own eyes from where they live, or something new if they're visiting the area. And, you know, it's important to me as a local to have this history available for people so that we can continue to share it with the community.
Hi, my name's Dayton. I'm a camera operator and editor with Spencer Films. I live in Springfield and I have my entire life. Why I like this job is I'm able to be creative in my own way and I'm able to meet a lot of cool people along the way.
Hello, my name is Lana Wildman. I was head researcher for Spencer Films for the documentary Fields of Gold, which is about A.E. Staley. Now I'm the archivist at the Staley Museum in Decatur, Illinois, and enjoying it very much. I'm originally from Danville, Illinois, went to the University of Illinois, also to SIU. I covered the state as far as universities. I spent 20 years, over 20 years actually, in the prison system in Illinois, not as an inmate, but as a librarian. First at Lincoln Correctional Center, and then for the whole state, where I was chief librarian for the state of Illinois for corrections. I enjoyed it, actually. I enjoyed working with inmates and helping them try to be better after their incarceration. Right now, I am president of the Route 66 Film Festival, which is in Springfield. A little about my job that I have now, which is archivist for the Staley Museum in Decatur. What do I like about it? I like everything about it. I like the people. I love Laura Yar, who's the director. And the person I work with closest is Erin, and she's a wonderful person. My job is actually accessioning objects, items that are in the museum.
Hey there, my name is Andy Moore. I am an editor at Spencer Films, and I am from Decatur, born and raised. I've been involved in video production for, 20 plus years. I've enjoyed my time here working with the crew. I have really enjoyed working on the documentary. I love the history surrounding it. Being from Decatur, the Staley name is everywhere. And so it has been a joy to learn and to dive deep on all sorts of subject matters surrounding Mr. Staley and his family and his work. I've enjoyed learning about a story that I thought I knew, being a lifelong Decaturite, but boy, was I wrong. There's so much more to the Staley story.
I think one of my favorite, if I were asked what my favorite Christmas was, I'd have to say that it was the Christmas of 1996. That was the year that my daughter was born, on Christmas Eve. And even though that completely shattered our general Christmas traditions, it was amazing to have a baby on Christmas Eve and to be there in the hospital with all of the family coming in and bringing presents and looking at my little girl, a little girl that I thought I was never going to have. I had boys up until then, and it was probably my favorite Christmas the year my daughter was born.
One of my favorite memories about the Christmas season is piling up in my family's vehicle and driving around Springfield to look at all the Christmas lights and decorations. In fact, I still enjoy doing that, though things have become a lot more commercialized, but it's just so pretty, and I just love it.
And I remember our next door neighbor, Mr. Robinson, made a sled all out of wood. It was like a box sitting on runners. He painted the box white. The runners that were wood too, they were red. And then on the side, each side of this box, where of course the person sat, the child sat to be pulled in the sled, was my name, Lana. On the other side was my brother's name, Alan, the same letters. Now, I had two other siblings. Their names both have 7 letters, and I'm sure Mr. Robinson felt that he could never get that many letters on the sled, so it was just Alan and me. What I noticed about it immediately is that both ends were done backwards. Instead of doing it the right way, he had done it backwards, the ends. And I think that was the first time I realized that that I could know something an adult doesn't know, that an adult could be wrong, at least in printing. There's one thing a 7-year-old knows, it's all about printing and how capital letters are supposed to look.
My favorite holiday memory has got to be just the anticipation that comes with the excitement of Christmas morning. And then once you get older and have your own kids, it's just so much fun seeing them come down on Christmas morning, to see their gifts and under the tree, and to watch them open those gifts.
One of my favorite memories growing up around Christmas time is just being able to spend time around family. Sometimes you don't get to see a lot of family members during the year, but when holidays roll around, it's a great time to be around people and have an excuse to do so.
I love being around my family at the holiday season. I think that's what I like best. Um, I have a big family, my husband and I both, and so we're constantly bopping around to everybody's house and seeing all of our nieces and nephews, and it's just a wonderful time to visit with family, play games, and, hear what's been happening through the rest of the year.
I think what I like best about the Christmas season is it seems to bring the best out in people, whether you're out in public or you're in a group or at work. Um, People just generally seem to be just a little bit happier at Christmas time.
In general, it's to me, it's for family, and it's for people maybe they haven't seen each other for a long time, and they're getting together. Of course, my sister and I will sing at the drop of a hat, so don't drop a hat around us. We love Christmas carols. We love any kind of song. So that's part of it. Of course, meals and eating together and conversations and games, of course. I'll be going to Wisconsin this year, and cribbage is huge up there. They taught me a few years ago.
The holiday season for me is a time of fellowship, I think. I love being with my family. Whoever can make it to be that. My children are scattered all over the world. And so it's not always easy for us to get together. But I love being with my family for Christmas.
So I'm an active member of the technical arts in my church, and so there's a lot of fun things that come with the season, a lot of important things that come with the season. And then I also like to be around family, and this is a great time to do that. And me and my girlfriend, we like to do a lot of holiday activities, and it's a fun time.
I love Christmas songs. I'm one of those people who, when they start playing Christmas songs on the radio and people start complaining because they're doing it like 24 hours a day or maybe 25 hours a day at this time of the year, I love it. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And as long as we have no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
My favorite Christmas song is Silent Night, and I am not going to sing that for you because I don't want to chase away our audience. Believe me, you do not want to hear me sing.
My favorite Christmas song is actually not a song that I think a lot of people associate with Christmas, but I do, and I think it's a fitting Christmas song. It's Once Upon a December from the movie Anastasia, and let's see if I can sing a few lines. Um, Dancing bears, painted wings, things I almost remember, and a song someone sings once upon a December.
Can I sing a few lines to my favorite Christmas song? No, I will not.
Oh gosh. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know.
My favorite story that surrounds the Christmas and holiday season is Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. My favorite movie is the 1951 adaptation of that book, that's actually called Scrooge, and I've watched that since I was, a young child. Um, Looking at it now, it's so enjoyable. Without a doubt, one of the best adaptions, I think, of the book that exist. I also think it appealed to me when I was young because I have this interest in Ghost and the spirit world, and to see that on film was just really something when I was young. And looking at it now and watching those special effects in black and white, so dramatic, and a time that there was no CGI. So, I'll be watching it, believe me, on Christmas Eve again this year.
Our favorite Christmas movie is The Muppets Christmas Carol. And I absolutely love Michael Caine as Scrooge. And I think there's a message in that movie for all of us, losing track of living the meaning of Christmas in a daily way and watching out for those less fortunate than ourselves. I absolutely love Scrooge and the Christmas Carol, and the Muppets is the best version. Michael Caine is amazing in that role. I love sharing those times with my children.
My favorite Christmas movie is not entirely a Christmas movie, but it's the movie that brought the song White Christmas to the public. It's called Holiday Inn. And I used to watch that movie with my mom, and we watched it over and over. And it didn't matter if it was Christmas or not. We would watch it all year long, but especially at Christmas time.
My favorite Christmas movie is A Christmas Story. It's one that we would always watch growing up at my parents' house. I actually got to visit the museum with one of my best friends, Lauren, and we got to see the original leg lamp and the box that said Fragile on it. I love it just because it's got all those nostalgic memories to it. I think of growing up and watching it, and we still every Christmas morning when I'm with my family, we watch A Christmas Story. So it's just humorous. It's got a lot of funny lines in it, and that's it's lighthearted.
They've been playing a lot of Christmas movies, of course, on TV recently. It's easy to say It's a Wonderful Life. I do like Capricorn, as they call it, movies by Frank Capra. Little Shop Around the Corner was just on. There is that discussion on whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I'm on the side of yes, it definitely is a Christmas movie and very entertaining. How many times have I seen it? Oh, a few, probably. I love a movie.
Well, there's a lot of good Christmas movies, and I am one that really likes to watch them. So it's hard necessarily to pick one, but one that I have watched extensively and know like the back of my hand is the Christmas Vacation, the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And my favorite clips have to be right after Uncle Lewis asks for some of his stogies, the tree just erupts in flames.
Oh dear, my favorite Christmas character. The first one that comes to mind is, the snowman who becomes live one day. That must have been quite a shock. You put a hat on and all of a sudden you've got a heart and lungs and a liver and you're living and breathing and you're frolicking in the snow, which makes a really cool story. I think maybe Burl Ives was the voice of yes, Frosty the Snowman. Yeah, Burl Ives.
I think of those movies that we watched on TV. I don't know the names of those characters, but some of those claymation, characters, I think of the snowman, I think of the reindeer, that weird, I guess he was a Yeti character, but all sorts of those fun characters and those old, man, goodness, I think they were made in the 60s or 70s, but those old Christmas TV shows.
My most favorite Christmas character, I don't know that I actually have one. I like snowmen. I love Santa. Probably, I guess, Santa Claus. That's tough.
Going off what I said earlier, the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, I think my favorite character has to be Cousin Eddie.
My favorite Christmas character, as I said before, is Scrooge. I love Scrooge. I love Scrooge because he represents that part of all of us that lose track in our daily life, or because of hardships that we've had to suffer, that lose track of looking outside ourselves and the true meaning of Christmas, which is loving, giving freely of ourselves, and caring about other human beings.
What would I like Santa to bring me? Well, I would break ties with my current camera if I did get a new camera. I mean, I'm looking at the Arri Alexa LF, but you know what? I can't afford it, and if Santa can, I'll part ways with my camera.
I think, as trite or cliche as this sounds, I just want to have a peaceful, joyful Christmas with my family. No stress, no strain, just relaxing and living some of these traditions that we've all put together over time. That's really all I want, is just to be with my family this Christmas.
I'm a gearhead. I'm kind of geeky and techie that way. But I would love for Santa to bring me a new camera.
Well, I'm known far and wide as the earring lady. Santa, if you could bring me some more earrings, I'm sure I don't have enough, and perhaps a trip to Italy on a plane that has a lot of leg room, that would be really nice. I'd appreciate that, Santa. Thanks.
What we want Santa to bring us for Christmas is a huge box of treats for my greyhounds, Nilla and Renly.
My favorite Christmas gift of all time, and I highly doubt that anything for the rest of my life will ever compare to this for me. I brought it here. I don't know if you can see it, but this is, well, we in my family we call it the Christmas clock, the gift clock. And it was made by my son, who is now 30 years old, and he was 10 at the time. He loved making things in his wood shop, and he made this Christmas clock for me. And this Christmas clock comes from the story that we told, the Christmas apple, the story that we told every Christmas. The gift clock is an important part of that story. I don't want to give the story away in case you want to read it, but the gift clock is an important story, and it moved my 10-year-old son to make this gift for me that one Christmas. And I've taken this clock everywhere I've moved to, and I've moved a lot. This clock has always been in my suitcase. I've never left it behind, and I absolutely love it because of the way the story moved my son and inspired him to create that for me.
Oh gosh, I've had so many awesome Christmas presents over the years. One in particular that comes to mind is the original Nintendo system. Back in 1985, my parents got, I thought it was given to me, but my brothers thought it was given to them. I suppose it was given to all of us, but we got the original Nintendo system way back in 1985. And oh my gosh, that was so much fun.
Of course, you know, over the years, I've gotten lots and lots of earrings, and I love them. But I want to show you one of the favorite gifts that I've gotten. Also, this is made by Hugh Moore, and he was my husband and also an artist in the Springfield area, musician, composer, that sort of thing. And in Springfield, I never went there, but there was a place you could do ceramics. You could take something that you've chosen and paint on it and have it fired. And this is what he did for me. Yes, it's a lobster in a zoot suit. Any way you look at it. Isn't that strange? Well, strange and wonderful, I think. Also, my mom, of course, made a quilt, for me one year.
My favorite thing that I have ever received for Christmas is actually a joint gift that my husband and I gave each other, and it was our first greyhound, Luna. We knew we wanted a greyhound. Our director, Laura Yar, actually at the museum had a greyhound, and I met hers. I believe her name was Katie, and occasionally she would come into the museum, and it was always a joy to see her. So I pulled out a picture because I thought this might be a question. Oh, there we go. That's my little greyhound, Luna. She's passed away a few years now, but I have two here sitting next to me on the couch that came after her. And by and away, they have been my favorite gifts. Usually, they end up being Christmas gifts. We get a dog.
I will tell a story about my disappointment as a child. I was young, very, very young, and my first crush was on a singer named Bobby Sherman, who was big in the 70s. And he was the first person that actually made my, kind of made my heart flutter. But anyway, for Christmas one year, all I wanted was his greatest hits album. And back when I was growing up, there were only 2-3 places you could get albums in Springfield, and I remember seeing the gift wrapped under the tree, and I was so excited that it was the Bobby Sherman album. But when I opened it up, it wasn't the greatest hits. My parents did give me the Bobby Sherman album, but it was the soundtrack to his not very successful TV show called Getting Together. And I really, it was hard not to show my disappointment. And I wasn't particularly crazy about the album. There's some songs that I liked, but I still have that. I still have that gift to this day. So probably one of my least favorite gifts has become one of my most cherished gifts. And it's really cool because the cover of the album is cut out so that it looks like a TV screen, and then it has this spinning wheel, cardboard wheel that you could spin around, and it would put different pictures in the frame of the TV set of Bobby Sherman.
One time I gave a interesting gift to a previous coworker of mine. I was given 2 bits of information about him, that he had grandchildren and that he liked to play golf. And so I thought to myself, I'm like, what is the absolute dumbest gift I can give him, but also something that was funny. And so I gave him a potty time golf game. And so it sat around the bottom of the bowl of the toilet, and you can play golf while you're doing your business.
I took a picture of a friend's photograph that was hanging on the wall in his house, and I photoshopped my own face over his face, and then I secretly replaced the Photoshop picture on his wall and didn't tell him. And then like 6 months later, his daughter came to visit, and she was the first one to notice that wasn't her dad's face on the wall.
The worst gift, or odd, I shouldn't say it was worst. It was just odd. Gift that I ever received was someone gifted me, let's see, they were gloves that mechanics would use when working on cars, and a box set of like wrenches or something. And I found it a very odd gift considering I know nothing about cars. And I'm not very handy. So I gifted that, re-gifted it to my husband.
I have a friend in Milwaukee. We had a party at her place at Christmas time, and white elephant gifts were aplenty. And I won or was given a lamp that you can tap on and off with your hand, and it has horses around the lampshade.
Some of the fun traditions me and my family have is pretty simple. I'm a simple person, so is my family. We watch a lot of Christmas movies. We decorate our Christmas tree and decorate the house. And then when the actual holidays roll around, we usually get together with our grandparents and our family, and we just have a nice big meal and able to hang out. And it's a good time to just hang out and be together.
Then we also had a tradition of reading a story called The Christmas Apple by an author named Ruth Sawyer. It's just a short story, but my kids loved having me read it because I could never get through reading that story without crying. And they always thought it was amazing that mom would have to stop her storytelling to cry and then pick back up. It was frustrating to me because I love to tell a good story, but I couldn't help it. The story just moved me. If you have a chance to read it, I highly recommend it.
My holiday tradition that I have done every year since I was a little kid is decorating sugar cookies at my Nana's house. You are not allowed to miss it, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. It's all of her grandkids, my sister and my cousin, and my nieces and nephew. And we get together. She usually has already made the cookie dough. So we roll it out, we cut out all of the different shapes and bake them. And then we all sit around a table and we decorate the cookies. And they are definitely not the prettiest cookies. Some of them are quite messy and dare I say a wreck. But I think that's what makes it fun. I love to decorate the sugar cookies. They're my favorite.
As far as holiday traditions, I really don't have any that have carried over into my adult life. My son and I used to always go to the Festival of Trees, and one thing that we had to do was get gingerbread cookies. Um, he reached an age where that didn't really appeal to him, but it was funny because I would still go to Holiday of Trees, and he would ask me, "Mom, could you please bring home um, a gingerbread cookie?" So I did that. But what I find really fun this year is Jordan is 25 years old, and he came to me and said, "Mom, I want to make gingerbread houses this year for Christmas." So I'm looking forward to doing that.
So the traditions come from my parents and having to do with standing around the piano singing. Both of my parents had really good voices and could carry a tune, which is good. My dad was a whistler and told me one time that was the thing because, Bing Crosby and people like that whistled too. So getting back to something special, holiday tradition, I guess it's just getting together and doing those things that one does.
One of our Christmas traditions was on Christmas Eve night, our parents would allow us to open one gift. And that sort of satiated our anticipation to open a whole bunch of gifts, the next day. But we got to open one, and then it was fun later as an adult that my girls would open up one gift on Christmas Eve as well.
My Christmas wish would definitely be health and happiness for my family. I think everyone's had a difficult past few years. So as long as you have your health and your happiness and each other, I don't know what more you can really ask for. So that's what I would ask for all of my friends and family, that we all have our health and that we all have some measure of happiness coming into the new year.
I would have to say that my Christmas wish is pretty cliche, but given the times that we're living in this world, I guess I would like peace on earth.
I want to wish everybody the merriest of Christmases, and I hope that you find the true peace of this season.
My Christmas wish this year is simple. Life's crazy, and I just hope that people get to enjoy their holidays, have a happy holidays, and spend as much time as they can with their family and their loved ones.
My Christmas wish is for the people in my life, especially my family, my close friends, my loved ones, to be happy. We've all had really difficult times, especially these last few years. But I am of the belief that no matter how dark it gets, there's light somewhere. And I just want everyone to be able to find that light and to focus on that light and to find some joy and happiness.
So let me just take a little minute before I say goodbye to everyone and wish you all the very best of Christmases, peace on earth, joyful fellowship in your families, and watch the Christmas Carol, the Muppets Christmas Carol.
So many great stories and holiday traditions. Some things I'm just now learning about some of these staff members. So some fun things that we'll be talking about around the office. So I hope you enjoyed our messages and our memories, and we wish you and your family all of the best this holiday season and for 2023. We will see you back here with new film details in a few weeks.